Welcome everybody to another Voice of Nick show. We're doing more of our Posthomerica illustrations. And as you can see, I, between episodes, spent a little time and roughed out just a general idea for chapter 8. In this chapter, it is the death of Eurypylus, Hercules' grandson, who arrived 2 chapters ago. That was the one where we drew the shield with all the deeds of Hercules, or Heracles. This time, now that Neoptolemus has arrived, Neoptolemus then kills Eurypylus. And I thought it would be fun to do, because our first chapter is the arrival of Penthesilea on the battlefield, and there's a really famous picture of Achilles stabbing Penthesilea in the neck. And I thought it would be cool for chapter 1 to have them sort of at the beginning of this battle, not at the end, where they're both sort of facing each other down. Penthesilea is like very gallantly on her horse, getting ready to fight. You know, neither of them is at a disadvantage, although maybe, Achilles is not on a horse, so he might be at a little bit of a disadvantage. But this one, if you know your art history, this one is the composition of the Penthesilea image, except I'm going to make it Eurypylus instead. So instead of Achilles stabbing Penthesilea in the neck, it will instead be Achilles' son, Neoptolemus, stabbing Eurypylus in the neck, which I think is kind of a fun sort of like meta reference for this stuff, because it is sort of like an echo of that. Not only is it a reference to the picture visually, but it's also an echo thematically, because it's his son and another helper of Troy. In addition, I added extra stuff. So in the Penthesilea one, it's very stark and there's nothing else going on in the composition, which is cool. In this one, because we're getting closer to the end of the Trojan War and things are really ramping up and getting bloodier, I wanted to have the battlefield kind of strewn with, there's 2 dead soldiers on each side of them here, and there's just like trees adding this sort of chaos to the sides of the picture as well. So there's a busier composition than the original one that we're referencing. And that's about it. We're going to use our Neoptolemus picture we drew for the previous chapter as a reference file, just to see what our costume ideas were and everything, so we can kind of match what he looks like. So let's do that. First, we're going to grab just a picture of Neoptolemus, and we'll paste that in the corner so that we can use it for reference. I know that in Procreate there's a way that you can actually like use like a reference image that like doesn't exist as part of the picture. I don't know if there's a way to do that in Photoshop. I know there is in regular Photoshop. I could just have another Photoshop window open, but I don't know how to do it on iPad. So that's all right though. So we have that. This Neoptolemus is going to be here. This is going to be Eurypylus, and I have some ideas for his costume. I did a little bit of searching. Every time I start searching for Greek artwork reference, I always find like 3 more books that I want to buy. So it's an expensive endeavor. Let's jump in it. This is probably going to be a rough layer. It's not going to be final. So we don't really have to worry about getting everything exactly right. And if we go into it assuming it will not be final, hopefully that will kind of make it a little bit more doable. We're going to make this like 35, I guess, 32. Okie dokie, here we go. I think I'm going to turn the background to be the same color as the previous chapter as well. It's a little hard to see. I think on our old ones we used to I think on our old ones we used to draw in black for the reference image. But let's do it in white because it makes more sense. As you can see, there's different. What's going on here? Oh, here we go. So every stroke that we make with this picture, we're going to redo. So let's try and think about it that way and really just not be precious about the stuff we're doing here. Okay. So now we're kind of making a weird change because his shield is going to a different arm, but maybe we can sort of justify it to ourselves as like he when he uses his spear, maybe he, I don't know, for some reason he's like lefty with a spear. It's pretty uncommon for characters to be lefty, or for people to be lefty in ancient times. So I'm not really even sure why this is actually what Achilles was in the picture with Penthesilea. I'm not really sure why they depicted him that way. It's probably just for compositional purposes, which is why we are also not really fussing about it either. So we're gonna give him his cape as well, which I'm not really sure what we're gonna do for that. This leg is required to be like kind of squished because of the weird perspective that the Greek pottery would kind of require for both of his legs to be touching the ground in this way. Let's try to... I think that works. Good. Now, I'm gonna make this longer. I can't really do that though without... Okay, it's a two-step process. Number one, turn it straight and get rid of it. Number two, delete part of his leg. Then number three, reselect this. Delete the little piece of his leg there. Now we can stretch it because it's aligned vertically. Good. That's better, I think. And you can see we're able to make these sort of choppy lines and big changes and stuff because we're not trying to make this the final version right now. We're laying it out. And for this, if this is his left hand, hold on. All right. As for the cape, there's not really much room for it. But I guess we'll just sort of put it in back here. Man, the cape is sort of... maybe we could put the cape like flying backwards on this one, even though he would... Maybe the idea is that Neoptolemus kind of, you know, ran forwards to hit him. I think that kind of works. And so from here, now we want to design what Eurypylus looks like. So we have Neoptolemus. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.